Welcome to me and my uncle.
NFL Weekly Rundown, Super Bowl 60 week. Danny,
Mark.
how you feeling?
Good.
Well, we announced the kind of records last week when we did our All-Pro show. So we could get right into the big game between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. I guess you didn't have a sheet, but I'm pretty sure the point spread is 4.5 Seattle.
Wow.
Okay. I thought because there's only one game this week, we could kind of get deep into our analysis of this, right?
Yeah.
So how about this? First on the mind, what do you think about when the Seahawks have the ball, New England's on defense, and the Seahawks pass? How do you feel? Like, who's got the advantage in that situation, or is it kind of a dead heat? I've got some numbers that, will tell you one way or the other, but what are your impressions? Who are the guys who you think will be factors when the Seahawks pass the ball?
I mean, JSN, I think, has to have a good game if Seattle has a good chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen Patriots defense play. They're pretty good.
They're decent, had a pretty easy schedule, but they played well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They forced a ton of turnovers against Houston, and I know it was in the weather, I know it was against a backup quarterback, but they stifled Denver, and they allowed 3 points to Herbert.
Yeah.
So the Patriots are playing good defense.
So
who's got the edge? Like Darnold, he's the ultimate wild card, I feel like. Is he going to be the turnover-prone guy that he can be? Or is he going to play clean like he has in the playoffs?
I hope he plays clean.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he should. But there is a lot of pressure on him, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's always pressure on the quarterback. Because when they lose, they kind of tend to take the most of the blame. And when they win, you get all the praise, right? That's just the price you pay for being a quarterback. I'll tell you a few of the numbers that I wrote down in this situation when the Seahawks are passing the ball, okay? The Seahawks, Darnold does have quite a few interceptions. They're bottom 10 in the NFL when it comes to throwing interceptions, and that's a bad thing, bottom 10. You're top 10 if you throw none. And New England is kind of in the bottom half intercepting the ball. So the Seahawks, Darnold can throw a lot of interceptions. The Patriots aren't great at intercepting the ball, though. So that's kind of like a wash. They're kind of the same. Okay, the Seahawks have the second most yards per pass attempt. So guys like JSN, Rashid Shaheed, they're able to stretch the field and get good yards when they do pass. And New England is kind of like in the top half of the NFL when it comes to that statistic on defense. So they're not great at stopping people from stretching the field. So maybe JSN and Shaheed can get some big plays on them. Finally, when it comes to touchdown passes and touchdown passes allowed, both teams are kind of right in the middle of the NFL. So, I don't know, the Patriots have a slight edge in that I think they might intercept a pass or maybe two on Darnold. But I think JSN and Rashid Shaheed give the Seahawks a little bit of an edge because they can get down the field and get good yards after the catch. Okay? So maybe I would say passing, when Seattle passes the ball, I would say it's pretty much even, is how I look at it. Okay, when the Seahawks run the ball and the Patriots are on defense, how do you feel about that situation?
When the Patriots run?
When the Seahawks run the ball. So like Kenneth Walker. We know Darnold's not going to run a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty much been Kenneth Walker in the playoffs for them. I saw he has 19 carries in both games they played, which is a decent amount. And he has 4 touchdown runs in the 2 games. 3 against San Francisco.
He has been playing pretty well. But isn't Patriots defense pretty good at stopping the run?
It is. I'll tell you the numbers I've got is Seattle actually, until the playoffs, weren't a very great, or they at least weren't an efficient running team. They were bottom 10 when you look at yards per carry. Okay?
Okay.
Patriots' run defense was in the top half of the league when it comes to stopping the run yards per carry. So maybe a slight edge to New England in that they have a pretty good yards per carry defense, and the Seahawks don't have a great yards per carry offense. And the other thing is Zach Charbonnet, Seattle's kind of second running back, he's hurt. So Seattle, it's going to be all Kenneth Walker III.
Yeah.
Okay, when it comes to touchdown runs, Seattle, although they didn't have a good yards per carry, they were top 10 in touchdown runs. And now you see Walker with 4 touchdown runs in 2 games, which is good. But the Patriots were 4th in the NFL, 4th best at not allowing touchdowns on the ground. So maybe another slight edge to the Patriots. To me, the Patriots kind of on the season would have the edge when the Seahawks run the ball. But Walker has been hot. That's the one thing they've got for them.
Yeah.
So maybe a slight edge to the Patriots when Seattle runs the ball, but maybe it's more like even. So I kind of think like on offense, when Seattle has the ball and the Patriots are on defense, it's almost like dead even. There's not, they're pretty much, it's going to be a good matchup is what it looks like. Pretty even, just when you look at the stats.
Okay.
So let's switch to when New England has the ball and Seattle's on defense. Specifically when New England passes the ball.
Well, I mean, Seattle's defense is amazing.
Maybe best in the NFL.
But you have Drake May, which he's been playing amazing this year.
Second team All-Pro.
So I think Seattle might have the upper half.
Yeah, this is another tough one because you've got Stephon Diggs, a solid veteran receiver, right? He's kind of like, I would say he's kind of like Cooper Kupp for Seattle, kind of the guy who's going to catch the ball and get first downs. You've got Hunter Henry, decent tight end. He's not great. There are other receivers. Mac Hollins, he's okay. Kayshon Boutte is a young receiver who stretches the field. He has big yards per catch. When I look at these numbers, listen to how close these are, okay? In interceptions, Drake May was 4th best. Intercepting passes on defense, Seattle was 5th best.
Wait, Drake May is 4th best at throwing interceptions?
4th best at not throwing interceptions.
Oh.
So, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
First best would obviously be best, but he's 4th in the NFL. Or I should say New England as a team is 4th best at not throwing picks. Seattle's defense is 5th best at getting picks. So 4th versus 5th, it's basically the same.
Yeah.
How about yards per pass attempt? New England, Drake May has the best yards per pass attempt, meaning he's able to stretch the field and get big plays. Seattle's defense, 2nd best, 2nd lowest yards per pass attempt. So that's strong on strong. You've got the best versus the 2nd best. When it comes to touchdown passes, Patriots, 5th most in the NFL. Seattle defense, 7th least touchdown passes. So 5th, 7th. It's kind of like all these stats are just a dead heat.
Wow.
So another really even matchup, don't you think? I mean, now we've looked at 3 of these situations, and only the Patriots have like a slight edge when Seattle runs the ball.
Yeah.
So now let's take a look at when New England runs the ball and Seattle's on defense.
Well, I forget the name of Patriots running back.
They've got kind of a 2-headed monster. Travion Henderson is the young rookie.
Which he's been playing, I was going to say, he's been playing kind of bad at the starting, but he's been playing good lately.
Yeah, I saw his yards per carry is over 5, which is good. And he has the ability to make explosive plays. I remember watching a lot of their highlights during the season. He can take like 60 and 70-yard runs and go to the house, kind of like your guy Gibbs.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson is their other running back. And he can catch the ball. He's okay, And Seattle's defense, you already said, is amazing. and we proved it that they're amazing versus the pass. When you hear their numbers against the run, they're actually even better, their run defense, I think.
Wow.
So I'll just point out, you've got New England has kind of a middle of the NFL when it comes to yards per carry. Oh, I should also say, Drake May can run. Where
Yeah.
Darnold is not a runner, Seattle will have to worry about May sometimes running.
Because he, at the end of the game, got that first down.
And he scored their only touchdown.
Yeah.
And I feel like when it comes down to one game, it's like, we don't even care if May has to run it 15, 20 times. There's no tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just play all out. So he might, if he's having success, he might have a lot more runs than he normally does in a game. We'll see. But on the season, New England has kind of a middle of the NFL when it comes to yards per carry. Seattle has the best defense when it comes to yards per carry. So I'm giving the Seahawks the edge in that stat. Touchdown runs, New England, 4th best in the NFL. Seattle allows the second fewest touchdown runs in the NFL.
Wow.
So 2nd versus 4th, that's pretty close. But when it comes to yards per carry, Seattle definitely had the edge. So I'm going to give a slight edge to Seattle's defense when New England has the ball and tries to run. Okay. So don't you think like this matchup is really close? Yeah. Now there are a couple stats I'll point out where the matchups might tilt the scale to Seattle. Okay?
Okay.
3rd down offense for the Seahawks. Or actually, no, let's skip that because that's even too. Red zone offense when the Seahawks have the ball. Do you know what the red zone is?
Yeah.
Inside the 20.
Yeah.
So you got a tight, you know, you can't really throw it deep. You got tight quarters, the zones get a little tighter, it's harder to pass, harder to score when you get in the red zone. Seattle's red zone offense was middle of the NFL. Surprisingly, New England's red zone defense, 3rd worst in the NFL.
Wow.
So that to me tells me if Seattle gets it down inside the 20, they could have some success. Either, look for JSN, Cup when you're throwing the ball, maybe their tight end, AJ Barner, or continue to ride Kenneth Walker III because he's on a hot streak.
Yeah.
So I think Seattle definitely has the edge if they can get it inside the 20 on New England's defense. Couple other places where Seattle has the edge. 3rd down when New England has the ball. They're 6th best in the NFL, but Seattle's defense is 1st best. And actually in the playoffs, the Patriots have been really bad on 3rd down, at least against Houston and Denver their last 2 games.
Which those are both good defenses, and now they're playing another good defense.
Right, like Seattle. So you kind of expect that to continue, where I think they're going to struggle on 3rd down again. And I think a lot of it has to do with their pass protection. Drake May has been sacked 5 times in every single playoff game. That's too much.
That's a lot.
That would put you on a pace. If you got sacked 5 times a game, you would get sacked more than Caleb Williams did last year, or more than Cam Ward got sacked last year. So that's way, way, way too many. So I give the edge to the Seahawks defense when the Patriots are forced to be in 3rd down situations.
Okay.
Last thing, how about when New England gets the ball into the red zone? When they're inside the 20 on offense, they're kind of like middle of the NFL. Seattle has the 5th best red zone defense. So how's New England going to score if they get the ball down inside the 20?
Wow.
I feel like they're going to have to get long plays. They're going to have to score from outside the 20 with either Travion Henderson busting off a big run, which the Seahawks don't really allow, or maybe find Kayshon Boutte for a long play or Diggs for a long play. Because if they get down inside the red zone, it's not going to be easy. The one other place where I think the Seahawks have an edge, special teams. And the guy they traded for, Rashid Shaheed, they got him from the Saints around the trade deadline.
He's been good.
He's been great as a kick returner, a punt returner, and as kind of like the Seahawks' 3rd receiver. So I think he gives them an edge in the return game. I will say New England has like the second team All-Pro punt returner, but the Seahawks have the second team All-Pro punter. So that's kind of a wash.
Jason Myers.
It's Michael Dixon. Myers is their kicker. But you mentioned Jason Myers. I think the Seahawks trust their kicker a little more than New England's.
Yeah.
New England only allowed their kicker to try 4 50-yard field goals. Seattle tried 12 50-yard field goals.
Wow.
So that kind of tells me how much faith the coach has in their kicker. Seattle says, Myers from 50, yeah, go out there and try it. Patriots are kind of like, we don't know if we trust you from 50. So I give a special teams edge to Seattle. So it had been pretty even when we were just looking at run versus pass, right? Or, run pass. But you'd start looking a little deeper. I kind of think the Seahawks have a little bit of an edge. So now let's talk keys to the game.
Okay.
We went through the numbers. We went through every matchup. What do you think is going to be maybe a couple of the big keys to the game? Key players or key situations?
Well, first I'll just tell you, I will cheer for the Seahawks. I don't know why, but I am rooting for the Seahawks.
I agree. I think I don't want the Patriots to win only because do they really need nice things all the time?
Yeah.
Like you just had 20 years of Tom Brady kicking people's butts.
And I don't want to say that I like Tom Brady, but I kind of feel like people, if New England makes it to the Super Bowl again next year, they might think Drake May might be taking Tom Brady's place.
Ooh, well, I would say 1 Super Bowl versus like the 6 that Tom Brady has or 7. Like you still got a ways to go, youngster.
Yeah.
Right? When you're talking about Drake May.
But I will cheer for Seahawks.
Yeah, okay.
And keys to the game. I think Sam Darnold can't have one of those bad days.
And we looked up the weather in Santa Clara. It's supposed to be perfect. So at least he's not going to be dealing with the rain like you were wondering. Is he going to be fumbling and bumbling and stumbling?
So he can't have that sweat on his hands. He can't be throwing interceptions.
Yeah.
So if he does that, that's going to be a good edge for the Patriots.
Yeah, well, what it kind of tells me for the Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah.
If Darnold plays clean, I think the Seahawks should win. If Darnold is shaky, it opens the door for the Patriots.
And also, I think Seahawks defense is really good, and they don't really need to work on anything. So if they play great, that's another key for Seahawks to win.
Yeah.
And now the Patriots, Drake May needs to play hero football, I think.
I was about to say, like, he has to just throw caution to the wind, and if there's a read option play that he keeps, just keep running it. Keep running it, test their defense, because we've looked at it. It's going to be hard to just hand it off to your running backs and gain good yardage. It's going to be hard to drop back and pass all the time because Drake May's getting sacked a lot in the playoffs.
So Drake May's going to need a lock-in. And also Patriots defense, I think, could really step it up. And if that happens and Darnold has a bad game, that's a key for Patriots too.
Yeah, well, if Darnold puts it in these Patriots' hands, will New England pick it off? You know, they gotta seize their opportunity. They're not great at it, but Darnold has been loose with the ball at times, so you just can't drop those opportunities, right? If he gives them to you in this game, you gotta seize the opportunity and catch it.
So that's what I got.
Okay, I'll go through a little bit of my keys. Which team can run the football? Because we already decided the defenses have a little bit of the edge when the other team tries to run against them. And, the Seahawks are going to be a one-man show. I think Kenneth Walker is really the only running back that they're going to trust.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to New England, they've got a little bit of a tougher task going up against the number 1 run defense in the NFL, yards per carry-wise. But the wild card that New England has is, will they call designed running plays for their quarterback? Mm-hmm. Because I really think you have to test Seattle's defense in every single way. run outside, run inside, and run with the quarterback.
I agree.
Okay, couple other keys. I think we talked about the red zone where the Seahawks have the edge in both cases. Whether on offense, the Patriots, that third worst red zone defense, how are they going to stop JSN, Cup, Kenneth Walker from scoring when they get down there?
And also, how are Patriots going to do in the red zone?
Yeah, exactly, because red zone defense is one of the Seahawks' strengths. And I think that what New England's going to have to do is maybe score on some big plays.
And bomb it to what?
Yeah, Booty, Diggs, or like I say, get Travion Henderson, throw him a little screen pass and see if he can take it the distance because he has the speed. We talked about third down offense being a key. And I think it's New England's third down offense because despite being good during the season, they only converted 28% of third downs, which is a little better than 1 out of every 4, which would be pretty much worse than the NFL if that was like over the course of the season. You got to be close to 50%, which is like 1 out of 2. I don't think anybody reaches 50% third down conversion, but you'd like to be at like 45%, get 4 or 5 out of 10. You'd like to convert. These guys are converting lower than 3 out of 10 their last 2 games. And I think it's due to May is getting pressured. I don't think their offensive line is really holding up against these good defenses. In Seattle, they don't like to blitz. They get pressure with 4 defensive linemen. And they throw them out there in waves. Couple of the names. Leonard Williams was a second-team All-Pro. Byron Murphy is a D tackle who I think has 7 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence is another guy who had 6.5 or 7 sacks. So they just rotate like 6, 7 guys on that defensive line, and they just get after the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So how will New England's offensive line hold up when they have to pass? Because they have not been converting on third downs. And if you're not converting on third downs, you're not going to sustain drives, and that means you're giving the ball back to Seattle too much,
Yep.
Finally, we talked about it a little bit. I think Seattle has an edge. Maybe it might only be slight, but an edge in special teams. I think it comes down to Rashid Shaheed. When they traded for him, nobody really thought that was a huge trade. Yeah. And he's turned into, I think he has at least 1 kick return touchdown for the Seahawks. Oh, he had one in the San Francisco game to start it.
Yeah.
So he's just been electric for them. So, I think those are my keys to the game. You said your keys to the game. Anything else to mention before pick time?
Well, who do you think are the crazier fans to pump up the teams?
Ooh. Well, Seattle has a reputation. They call themselves, when they're at home at least, they call them the 12s. Like the 12th man on the field, sort of, is the fans. And New England, I don't get the sense that their fans are like, they're not Buffalo crazy.
Yeah. And I guess Seattle is closer.
It is, the people who buy tickets to the Super Bowl, I think, you got to be like rich to get a ticket to the Super Bowl. So I don't even know how many fans of the team show up. I think it's just football fans who say, you know what, we're free on February, 15th. We're rich. Let's go to the Super Bowl. I am not that person, but, maybe someday. If the Bears were in it,
you would probably.
I might be able to find the money to scrape a ticket together. But boy, what would it feel like if you went to the Super Bowl and your team lost? Oof. That'd be deflating. So maybe I'll just stick to watching it on TV.
Yeah.
And hope that we have that problem because the Bears are in the Super Bowl someday soon, right? Yeah. Problem. And I say problem very loosely. Okay. I don't really have anything more to say about it other than I hope it's a good game. Let's just give us something close, entertain us, right? Kind of like the Bears did all season. I mean, if you weren't a Bears fan, all their games were so fun. And
For sure.
most of them were fun for Bears games too, or Bears fans too. Some of them, the last one didn't go their way, but hey, what do you do?
We're ready for score?
Ready for score. I didn't even write one down, so I don't.
I just thought one up in my head.
I'm gonna think one up on my head too. And I will. Yeah, you go first. 4.5 points is the spread.
I'm picking Seattle.
Okay.
31-28.
Good. Okay, so you got New England covering the spread. Sounds like a close game, maybe a last-second field goal or something. Yeah. I was gonna say Seattle. I'm gonna say 27-21.
Seattle?
Yep. I think the Seahawks will cover the spread. How about this? Before we sign off, MVP. Who's it going to be? Of the game of the Super Bowl. So it'll be a Seahawk if you're picking the Seahawks to win. Who's going to be the star?
Seahawk, and then if the Patriots win, I'll do Patriot.
Okay.
First, I'll do Patriots because it's kind of obvious. Drake May.
Me too.
And for Seahawks, ooh, that's tough.
Yeah. Usually the MVP goes to a quarterback.
But I don't know if I trust Sam Darnold to get it.
Yeah, and if a receiver or a running back has a big game, or a defensive player.
I was going to say, I think it might be someone on defense because Seattle has such a good defense.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say JSN.
Okay. Just because I agree with you that kind of Darnold, Darnold might throw 2 touchdown passes, but he might also throw 2 picks. So is that really MVP worthy? I think I'll say Kenneth Walker III. He was on my fantasy team. He was kind of a disappointment for me. But with Charbonnet out of the equation, he is getting all the important carries.
Yeah.
So I could see him with 2 touchdowns and 100 yards or something like that. Mm-hmm. He has a game like that, and if Darnold is just kind of okay, I think it could go to the running back.
Yeah.
But I like your JSN pick too, thinking, well, they might pass for a lot of yards, they might get a couple scores from JSN, but Darnold might have a hiccup here or there that keeps him from getting the MVP. So, and I know you asked about the awards like Rookie of the Year, MVP, that kind of stuff.
Did that already
Still haven't named it. So I think that's going to happen Saturday maybe, before the Super Bowl.
Didn't they already do the Walter Payton Man of the Year award? I thought I saw it in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
It was CMC. I remember Christian McCaffrey was for sure one of them.
Oh, well, you know what? Every team has a guy that...
Yeah.
I think they all get nominated and they all get to wear the little patch on their jersey. I don't know if they still only award one actual Walter Payton Man of the Year. But that would probably be around the same time as the MVP,
Who do you think the Bears would be?
It was DJ Moore.
It was
their guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah. And maybe the Vikings was CJ Ham?
No, I think it was Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Okay. All right, well, boy, the end of the season. It's kind of bittersweet, huh?
Well, see you maybe after the Super Bowl?
After the Super Bowl, well, I know your parents are going out of town, so it might be hard to do next week, which, we might, how about either pre-draft or post-draft? Should we bring something to the people at YouTube for just a little taste? And we can talk about the off-season and say, the Bears either kept Brisker or he's gone to this team or, all that kind of stuff.
Let's hope Brisker's on the team.
Yeah. We going to be back for the 2026 season, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. We've had fun this season. Enjoy the Super Bowl and peace out.
Go see.